one that we face a great deal on the Sunshine Coast and probably throughout the country. How should a parent answer when the school debates the diagnosis and disability adjustments recommended by an independent expert, such as pediatrician, occupational therapist, audiologist? Are there any number of specialists?
Yeah, there are. Look, this is always a tricky area. The education standards under the Disability Discrimination Act make it quite clear that schools and education authorities have to take into account the views of the parents as well as the views of those professionals. All of us know that doctor's word, the audiologist's word, the specialist's word counts for a lot more than our word. I mean, that's just a general thing in society. It's not just about disability, it just has that particular impact when it comes to kids with disabilities. It's good to get other views or other opinions from people with similar or the same qualification and make those available to the schools. Maybe the discrimination law can be used here if the result of a diagnosis means that your child is not getting the support that you think they need, or they're being offered a different support or not being offered support. Lodging a complaint about that means that you get to sit down at a table with the school authorities, and you can present your diagnosis or your views about that as well. There is, as well as the education standards under the Disability Discrimination Act, there's a whole lot of FAQs, frequently asked questions, on the Human Rights Commission's website, which sort of say what I'm saying here, so that they say that, sure, the diagnosis of a doctor is relevant, but it's not the only consideration. The diagnosis of a doctor is a medical diagnosis. It doesn't tell people what happens to your child at home or in the playground. You're the only one that can give the home diagnosis or the playground diagnosis. And so you've got to advocate. And I'm not sure if it's still going, but there's Queensland Parents of People with Disabilities.
Yes, it's still going.
Okay, great. I knew, I worked with a couple of people in that organisation some years ago. And they're also a really I was going to say well-resourced. They're not well-resourced in money terms. What they're well-resourced in is experience of these sorts of issues, and so they can be useful allies. And it's always good to work with allies on these sorts of issues.